So Pokimane has responded to the drama surrounding her. She's done it in 2 different ways. Firstly, through her stream a few days ago, which, surprise, surprise, was an absolute train wreck.
And I won't lie, that is some petty I did. I don't know if this is like something I'm supposed to apologize for.
And within the last 24 hours, she has also released an 11-page Google Doc responding to Fed. Can I ask a favor to people who are going to expose their friends or colleagues? Can we stick to the videos? Can we avoid the Google Docs? Feels like I'm in school reading all these like essays. That's not fun for anyone. And before we start today's video, I'm so excited and honored to announce that this video is sponsored by My Protein. I have used this brand for years. This is so exciting to me, and especially because of their new product range, they are launching Command Energy. Command Energy Drink is the latest energy drink on the market for gamers. I'm not a big energy drinker, but Command Energy makes it so I can actually drink energy drinks that I enjoy the taste of and aren't full of garbage. Command Energy has low calories, 0 sugar, and is packed full of vitamins. And these taste so good. We have a range of flavors: blue raspberry and grape from the cans. Command also have their own tubs: blue raspberry, grape, tropical, and sour apple. Whenever I'm gaming or editing, Command Energy is a great drink to help keep me up and help with performance. And today, I have got a ridiculous code for you guys to use to get yourself some Command Energy for free. If you go to teamcommand.com right now, buy something and use the code Kavos Blue, you'll get a free 6-pack of blue raspberry energy drink worth up to £14. And additionally, you'll get 10% off your entire order. However, if you want the grape flavored cans, use the code Kavos Perp with your order and you get a free 6-pack of the grape flavored can. Make sure you go order some Command right now, worldwide shipping. And also, if you're a fan of My Protein themselves, they're having a huge Cyber Monday sale. If you use the code Kavos on their website today, you can get 52% off your order for Cyber Monday. They have a range of products. I love their protein powders, especially because of the taste. But it's not all protein powder. They have loads of good snack alternatives for a healthier lifestyle as well. So if you're looking for something like that, the code Kavos, 52% off on Cyber Monday. Go right now and use the code Kavos Perp or Kavos Blue for a free 6-pack of Command Energy and 10% off your order. All their socials, all the links in the description right now. Go and check it out. So firstly, let's look at Pokimane's live stream because she covers and responds to most of the key points that I talked about in my previous video. And if you haven't already, I very much encourage you to watch my first video on this topic because then you'll understand all the claims that she's responding to in this video. So Pokimane is on stream going through Fed's document exposing her. I wonder how she's going to react to all them juicy texts and evidence being leaked.
Just details about us hanging out, watching stuff together. We did get very close, that's true. And oh my gosh. Insert very cringy text messages that have no place on the internet, but yeah, I mean, essentially me and Fed had just gotten really close.
Ah, of course. She skips the text messages. It's especially convenient she skips the ones where her and Fed are talking about knocking themselves off. However, someone in the chat calls her out for skipping the text.
Skipping the pictures? Oh, I'm sorry. They're really just cringe. You know? It's like, Fetty Weddy. Or like, you look cute. Oh, you made me blush.
Still doesn't acknowledge the way more intimate text and pretend like they don't exist. But I guess it's a bit of a business move because once all her tier 3 simps find out she's talking to other guys like that, instantly all her subs will be gone. She then goes on to address one of the times that Fed told someone that him and Pokey were seeing each other. You know, the very thing that in her stream when she was trying to expose Fed.
The guy informed me that Fed told him that we were together when we weren't, and that he told the guy not to tell anyone, not to talk to anyone about it, not to talk to me about it. And that was the first time that Fed just like massively broke my trust, and I could never trust him or look at him the same way. And I'm very grateful that the guy in question told me this, even though Fed told him not to. And then I retroactively asked someone else from kind of the past whether Fed had said something similar to him, and they did. And I very recently, just today, found out that he said the same thing to another guy. And the guy I found out about today was someone else that like I was seeing or wanting to get to know.
She claimed made her very upset.
He goes on to say like I'm a really private person and that he shouldn't have alluded to someone that we were talking. But actually, in this instance, we really this was the first time that we started talking, and we were starting to talk pretty seriously, and I was like, I need to figure out whether this is something that I want to pursue and risk the conflict of interest or just something I'm not interested in. So I actually don't really care about this at all. Where he's like, I shouldn't have overshared. This was not my issue at this point in time.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. What? That is not what you said in your stream at all. If it didn't bother you, please explain to me and the viewers why you went on stream months ago exposing Fed for this very fact. And yes, I know the party one bothered her, but she has built her case on the amount of times Fed has gone around telling people this.
And then I retroactively asked someone else from kind of the past whether Fed had said something similar to him, and they did. So I actually don't really care about this at all.
And because she tried to make it out like her and Fed were just friends,
Fed was by far the closest friend I had.
It made Fed look so much worse and like a desperate friend who was just lying and had no chance for Pokimane when clearly
we were starting to talk pretty seriously.
They were talking seriously because she admits it.
There was a point, again, at first, like at EDC, that I was like, yeah, no, we were talking at that point. That's why I wasn't mad that he told Josh that we were like talking to each other or seeing each other.
Saying you didn't care. You clearly used it. You used 3 different occasions when Fed did it on your stream to build a case against him. You don't get to do that. Try and expose him for this. And now you've been caught out. Be like, oh, no. I actually don't mind it because we were really talking at the time, guys. We were. Yeah, no one would have known you guys were talking unless this leaked document comes out. Get the out of here. Pokimane then tries to make excuses for her leading Fed on.
And again, I was still like trying to figure it out. I feel like I need to understand the boy scene a little bit more. I mean, you know, I was like 20, 21 in LA, single, freshly in LA, whatever the heck, right? I wanted to be sure of whoever I was going to pursue.
You don't just get to keep a guy on a leash until you are sure of who you want to pursue. Isn't how it works.
I also didn't like the online pressure of people shipping us, and I don't like the idea of like falling into it just because there's pressure.
The excuses coming out thick and fast. Not her fault, guys. Isn't Pokimane's fault. The internet is to blame for all the pressure they put on them. If this was a huge factor for you and shipping and all this stuff put you off, why entertain Fed in the first place? Oh, I don't know. It's the internet's fault, guys. Definitely is an issue of Pokimane and her own insecurities. No.
Oh my god, this is so cringe because, like, I'm not, like, massively older and massively more mature, but I really was that. I was like, don't, like, call me pet names unless we're dating. Because I feel like it's just a line I draw, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, whatever. Yeah, I was like, I want to be very private until I make the jump, then I don't care because that's just how it be with me.
So Pokimane says in this stream that she felt that pet names were a clear line that she was drawing in the sand for Fed to make it clear that they weren't going out or boyfriend or girlfriend, referencing the time that Fed called her baby. Well, Pokimane, not surprisingly, you didn't even draw that line with him.
Just a line I draw.
Because straight after you said that it was reserved, for boyfriends, you gave him an allowance for the amount of times he could say baby and call you baby.
Just a line I draw.
Therefore, making it seem like it was okay to say it sometimes. Sending massive mixed messages, which I think is something you just can't seem to understand. You say one thing, Pokimane, and then you just do another. You can't say pet names are only reserved for boyfriends, but I'll give you a 2-week allowance anyway. And you want to know another way that Pokimane sent a message to Fed and claimed was her way of being upfront with him about not wanting to pursue anything with him. She said in her own words that bringing guys around the house next door to Fed was her way of being upfront with him?
Essentially, we just had trouble being close, but managing our friendship, especially knowing he wanted more, but I was always upfront. Well, I always felt I was upfront about how I felt and what he could or couldn't expect from me. Obviously, we probably were not on the same page. We were essentially in a difficult to maneuver situation. It really bothered me that in this document, he tried so hard to paint me as the bad guy or like leading him on when I felt I was always honest. And I know there are parts in here where he's like, yeah, and sometimes she would like hang out with guys at the house, and it was like, it felt really bad for me. And you know what? I get that, but I hope you guys can also see from my perspective, that was me trying to be upfront about like, I am dating, I am seeing people, like, again, I am not pursuing a future between the two of us.
Oh my heart. Damn. That is cold. Cold as ice. Pokimane then goes on to talk about a time that she went back home to Canada to visit her family and Fed surprised her there. And that after that whole trip, she tried to get into Fed and tried to entertain the idea, but she told him, apparently, that she wasn't into him.
I went to Canada around that time to visit my parents, and he had surprise visited me in Canada. Again, around the time that we first started talking, and I was like, do I like him, do I not? And then when he showed up, I was really flattered by that because I don't have like a shit ton of dating experience and no one had ever done such like an extravagant thing per se to surprise me. So I was like, oh, maybe I should give him a chance. And so in Canada, I was like trying to open my heart up to the idea a bit more. But I realized it just didn't feel right, essentially. And I was like, oh, okay, now I know, like, this is not something that I want to pursue. So when we came back home, again, May-ish, I had that talk with him.
But then goes on to say that she would let Fed get close to her after saying this, but only when it suited her.
Admittedly, in hindsight, it was selfish that, like, I wanted to, like, still be friends and still be close. But I think he read that as like signs of maybe wanting more. But in my mind, I was like, I already had this convo with you of like not wanting more. So but also there was like this cycle of like, we'd get close and I'd be like, I think like you think this is headed in a way that it's not headed. Like we can't be like this close. 'Cause like boundaries would be pushed.
So you admit there was a cycle that constantly happened, but only now in hindsight do you realize it was selfish. Not when it repeatedly happened, because like you already said, it was a cycle. You didn't realize it was selfish then. Couldn't figure out that it was leading him on if this cycle just kept repeating itself. Fed describes the cycle as Pokimane only wanted to entertain and get close to Fed after she stopped seeing the guys she was seeing at the time. So when she was seeing other guys, apparently she wasn't getting close to Fed, but when she wasn't, Fed was good enough and she let him in close.
But I think he read that as like signs of maybe wanting more.
And you can't possibly see how he got to that conclusion, Pokimane. Is that brain really only good for collecting bits and screaming poggers? If you can't already see from my first video and now this video, the type of girl Pokimane is or was to Fed, I consider you lucky because it means you haven't experienced this in real life. And if you haven't, I hope you don't, because it sucks.
Essentially, people reading this document may feel like I lied about there being something going on between me and Fed. I understand where that comes from completely.
Wow, she understands. That's great. That's lovely, Pokimane, that you understand. It's because you did lie about the relationship you had, or at least, the very least, left out a huge amount of context.
Closest friend I had, we were starting to talk pretty seriously,
making Fed look so much worse.
And just want to explain that I was trying to share a very specific instance where I felt Fed lied about the state of our friendship or relationship, and it happened much later than these texts in Taiwan. It happened way after May when he visited, and I had that conversation with him of like, listen, I just want to be friends.
Well, yeah, this kind of means fuck all now because you yourself dug yourself a grave by admitting that there was a cycle of being close and not being close and being close.
There was like this cycle of like, we'd get close and I'd be like,
So it isn't really out of the realm of possibility that Fed got confused where you were in your cycle and told this guy that you were seeing each other because, like you've already admitted, you guys were talking seriously at some point. So yeah, he might have told that guy at a party that you were together because you kept letting him close and leading him on, And it is leading him on because the whole time you keep letting him get close to you, you know he has feelings for you. You know it. And you let that cycle continue anyway. Pokimane then focuses on the claim she made.
And the person that I would share how badly I wanted these friendships with was the same person that was actually isolating me and sabotaging these friendships for me. I don't even really know if that was his intention or not. I'd like to think it was more of an inconsiderate or careless thing, but ultimately, he drove everyone around me away from me. And I started freaking crying at the intervention and after, just out of like mourning the years of friendship that I lost with these people because of him.
That Fed was actively trying to isolate her from their friends and manipulate them against her.
Me and Fed spoke about this when I first learned of this document weeks ago. He felt that what I said on stream made it seem like he manipulated people around me into not wanting to be my friend, and he was upset because we didn't mention that that wasn't his intention. He didn't mean to have that impact, even though he did. He was just being inconsiderate in regards to the way he spoke about me to my friends. And I believe this. I don't think he was actively trying to make people not want to be my friend, even though that's what he ended up doing.
So you go on your stream a few months ago and blame Fed for isolating you and being the reason you weren't friends with these people, as if he was a master manipulator. And now, when you've been caught out, you say that he wasn't actively trying to make people not be your friend.
Was the same person that was actually isolating me and sabotaging these friendships for me. Mourning the years of friendship that I lost with these people because of him. I don't think he was actively trying to make people not want to be my friend.
Now we've gone from Fed full on isolating you and being the reason you lost years of your friendship to other people, to then backtracking and saying he was just being inconsiderate about the way he spoke about you.
The same thing has happened to me. You know, sometimes he has mentioned certain things to me and maybe he doesn't think that it'll have an impact on the way that I see someone, but it does. And then I kind of avoid being their friend. But then later on, I find out that they're actually really great people I would have gotten along with. And it's something that just happens in friend groups, okay? It just fucking happens.
Yes, it is a normal thing, and you blew it up. You're the one who went on stream and claimed that he is the sole reason you aren't friends with these people. Like he was some puppet master. And you wonder why people don't believe the things you say, Pokimane. And to be honest, I don't blame Fed for venting about you leading him on. What, is Fed not allowed to talk about you to other people? Is he just has to talk about Pokimane in the most respectful way, or Pokimane's going to expose him on stream? Why is Fed excluded from that? Why can't he do it? You did it with Yvonne. You did it to Fed about Yvonne. Oh, but Fed can't do it about you, though. No. It seems, Pokimane, you have your own issues as to why you probably weren't friends with him like Fed was.
Essentially, like, the things that he had said to people, I could tell that there were just bad vibes. You know what I mean? I think you guys know what I mean. Like, sometimes you get that sentiment that someone just sees you differently, or like isn't really open to wanting to be your friend.
Why didn't you just ask them if they wanted you around, or just ask them instead of using vibes to detect if they want you or want to be your friend? You claim to be this extremely confrontational person.
I'm a very, to a fault, I'm a very confrontational person.
Why not just ask them? Seems to be a key theme in this whole scenario is that Pokimane lacks communication skills, any sort of skill to actually communicate with people. So for the next part of this video, we're going to look at the 11-page document that Pokimane released, or a little bit of it, because she covered a lot of the key points I talked about in my last video on the stream that we just covered there. But she talks about the Yvonne situation in this Google Doc. Pokimane accused Fed of being the reason Yvonne got fired from offline TV. According to Pokimane, she hated the way he was constantly chatting shit behind her back.
Put a huge emphasis on this. The way he shit-talked Yvonne and Lily to me and others, particularly, I will just recount my experience, is so frustrating knowing what happened between them. The Yvonne incident happened, and Fed would start talking to me. I'm so sorry for being emotional. He would talk to me about how Yvonne was lazy and not working enough and playing League all the time. And I was concerned. And he would say, oh, she like won't work on OTV stuff with me or brainstorm.
When Fed released his document, he exposed that Pokimane also was chatting about Yvonne, making herself out to be this innocent person on stream, when in reality, she was doing it, if not worse. However, in her new document, she says that, I'd like to give context to the messages he included about Yvonne, since the leaked document attempts to imply I was plotting against her, when that was not the case at all. Not the case at all? Really? Do I really have to read out these DMs again? Pokimane about Yvonne. She's just got lazy, so she's going to move out and just take care of offline TV stuff that she wants to do. Lol. For me, it's like, okay, but let's look for better people. If a biz dev comes in and wants to do what Yvonne does on top of everything else, I'ma say yes. That's my ideal. Clearly, talking about replacing Yvonne. And in this new document, she tries to weasel her way out of this by saying that these texts are from May 2019, whereas Fed had shared screenshots of things I parroted about Yvonne months later on October the 5th, 2019. Parroted. What is this vocabulary? Parroted. Are you trying to claim that you were just repeating what Fed said and this wasn't things that were actually coming out of your own mouth or things that you meant? Pokimane shows text from Fed to her about Yvonne, talking about Yvonne, about how he tried to do some ideas for content and she just ignored him to play League of Legends. Like I said in my last video, did Fed probably talk about Yvonne? I would imagine so if she's being like this, but what I had a problem with is the way Pokimane made herself out to be this innocent bystander who would never have done it, and how she couldn't believe how much Fed chatted about Yvonne. Pokimane, you were clearly doing the same. It also has a section marked Fed, where she talks about Fed telling the guy at the party that him and Poki were in a thing. Stuff we've already covered earlier in this video. I'm going to link Pokimane's full document down below. I've read the whole thing. It really adds nothing. The stream clips were more productive. All she does is try to shift the blame, try remove the focus away from her lies. If you agree with me, please leave a like on the video right now. Like the video if you agree. Every like really counts. Make sure you like. I know the Pokimane simps are going to come in force. Comment down below what you think. If you think Fed got done dirty. All my socials are in the link down below. Follow them. DM me if you want to talk to me. Get in contact with me. All my DMs are open on Twitter and on Instagram. And yeah, that is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, fuck off.